So here's the deal. About a month or so ago, I was learning about cockroaches in my urban pest management and ID class, and I now have this crazy fear of cockroach infestations. Never been afraid of cockroaches before, honestly. But now I am just so terrified of a cockroach infestation. I've never lived in a place that's really had an issue with cockroaches, but from the moment I rented this apartment down here in South Florida, I was a little bit concerned. The first apartment that I looked in, I opened up the freezer and a German cockroach fell out. And I told the manager of that property about it, and he's like, no, those are the bad ones. You don't want those. I'm sure it wasn't German cockroaches. Those can be a real big problem. I know they can be a real big problem. I knew it before I took this class. Their life cycle, how long it takes for them to produce eggs, how fast they can multiply, what happens when you have a ridiculous amount of them in your house, and just like how hard it can be to get them under control. So this new apartment that I'm in now is not the first one that I looked at. This is the second one. And I've seen what I thought was a German cockroach a total of 2 times. The second time was tonight, which is why I'm making this video. Well, okay, so the second cockroach, I'm almost certain that it's the same cockroach I've seen a couple times in the last week. I'll randomly go into the kitchen and turn on the light and suddenly it scurries underneath something and I'm like, oh. Where's something I can smash this with? Because I don't want to use my hand. I feel bad killing bugs as it is. I don't want to touch them when I'm killing them. I can't even smack mosquitoes, you guys. It's kind of bad. But tonight, I caught the cockroach, caught it in a little jar, and I stuck it in the freezer. So I hope it's dead, because I couldn't find the cover, and I put something else on top of it, hoping it wouldn't escape. I'd show it to you, but I didn't want it to get away. German cockroaches. Look them up, guys. By the way, they're not German. They're actually from Asia, which does bring me to another interesting point. They are related to the Asian cockroach. So much, in fact, that people were not able to tell them apart until relatively recently in entomological history. There is another species called the Asian cockroach, which does not share the same habitat, looks almost exactly like a German cockroach, but is not a household pest. And it actually usually lives out in leaf litter. And the main difference, probably the only way that I would be able to tell, besides the fact that it lives outside, is that it can fly. And the German cockroach cannot fly. So if you see a little tiny cockroach flying around in your house, you probably don't have to worry about it. If you see a tiny, like this big cockroach in your house, and it's like really thin, I'm not talking about those giant ones. Those giant ones, you probably don't even have to worry about them as long as you put out some bait. But I put out some bait and that German cockroach it didn't die. I mean, it was there in my kitchen. Well, it's dead now, I hope. The only other cockroach I've had an issue with, but I'm of course not worried about this one infesting, is the Surinam cockroach, which likes to live outside in plants and mulch and stuff, and it occasionally comes inside like the millipedes and then dies. I've found, I think 3 or 4 of them have crawled inside and died. 2 of them died on their own, the other 2 I stuck in the freezer. But yeah, I'm nice like that. I ended their suffering early, I think. I would like to think that's what I was doing. I was being merciful. Anyway, yeah, I'm afraid of German cockroach infestations. I'm kind of in an old apartment complex, and older complexes tend to attract... I can't say this politely, so I'm just not gonna say it. There's a very good chance you're gonna get cockroaches from your neighbors. That's what I'm gonna say. And that's gotta be enough. You don't want these. Nope.